wars with Kiss. There's a huge war for ratings. So now they don't have the time to play local music. They have to play the no-brainers. What's running radio is people calling in. What they're calling in for is the artists that they know, which would be those artists of that time. So there's no room for them to play any local music because they're battling each other. So they couldn't take a chance at losing listeners. They had to stay intact with in ratings. So that's what happened during that time. You know, Easy.
I worked at Radio with Nine at WPGC, and I came in as an intern. And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret about everything we're saying right now. In my travels of my probably close to 30 years in the music business, I've never heard a hit record not get played on the radio. I never heard a hit artist not get featured in the source. I never heard a hit video not get played on BET. On this panel right now, you're covering radio, magazines, and what BET was in that time period. When I came to PGC, there was an unknown artist on my demo tape because I was getting all my music from Chucky. There was an unknown artist named Usher Ray. There was an unknown artist named Baby Smalls, and of course Baby was featured in the source. But he had no singles out. His first single was Juicy. I had the What? Unmixed with Biggie and Method Man on it, and took it to Jay Stevens and MD Thrive at that time. And they hired me at PGC because I had all this exclusive music. So what I learned over that time period is that hit music doesn't get overlooked. Nobody's sitting around saying, yeah, that record's a hit record, but I'm not gonna play it because they local. It just had to be a hit record, but the problem is music is subjective, and we all have our ideas of what a hit is, and you don't understand what the hit is for PGC and KYS and Hot 97 need to be playing. Funkmaster Fletcher posted a video a couple of years ago talking about how they used to copy PGC's playlist because PGC was leading the music, leading the country in R&B music.
Well, there's a whole documentary on YouTube about late night radio, and it talks about how the Quiet Storm was actually invented here in DC on WHUR.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah,
so good. Yeah. Oh, you have something to say?
Yes, sir. So what I was going to say.
What's your name? You gotta
Chuck the Arsonist.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is that can't forget about Question Mark Silence. Because they were one of the first groups from here that was produced by Eric Sermon.
Well, this, I mean, if you want to really go back, you also can't omit the Howard University factor. That Pub, all those guys, Cookies in the Cypher, all that stuff were Howard University's Born Americans, all that were Howard
Born Americans.
Howard University students. So that's actually good. You say what you have to say because I want to ask about the Howard factor and about feeling like one community and being united.
Well, I know for me myself, when I was a young solo artist, man. Yeah. I started rapping, I think I was in 7th grade, right? And then 96, I teamed up with this guy, and me and him formed a group. And that same time, I started doing like big shows everywhere, right? I run into Two-Face in his group. This is 96, and we were the only two major hip hop groups that was shutting everything down. If you were in it, you may as well go home because this right here was killing everything moving. So I know 96, we had a hip hop scene here. We just didn't have the resources.
That's what I was gonna get to.
The resources.
The infrastructure, resources,
And, I mean, of course, but it's pre-internet. So
but if you have Rap City right there, I'm just being devil's advocate, right? So now Radio 1, etc. Sirius XM Radio started. XM Radio started here, and then it merged with Sirius.
Right.
There's so many different examples of Baller Alert, the lady who started Baller Alert, she's from here. Robin, she's from here. She's from Southeast, right? There's so many from here, but if you have access, right? I'm just talking about it. Is knowledge the gap? Is it really about resources, or is it about knowledge? Is it about soft skills in terms of?
I mean, you saying that.
No,
but that is part of it.
Yeah,
up until
Yeah.
in front of football games down in Mississippi, Alabama. Yeah.
And I know what it's like to have him perform, have a label run up on me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as soon as we say you from DC, Slim, the shit went out their face. They said, oh yeah, Hot Cold Sweat, Chuck Brown, and it's like you already know, y'all just.
Are there things? Oh wait. Actually, I want to hear. I'm gonna talk. I want to hear. You got some tail
Thank you.
Next question again. What we
I was
on?
like his knowledge, or even let's say soft skills. Because I'm telling you something.
When you go to New York, this is back in the day, there was a certain kind of hustle.
Oh, right there.
No. I'm just being the devil's advocate. I'm not saying.
No, that's what I got. That's what I was going to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Because when the open mics ended, right? It was a time when the open mics was ending. When bar none, the open mic that I was at was Capital City Records. That was a no age joint. That was like an all age GoGo, but for the rappers on U11th Street. You know what I'm saying?
I went to one with DC Don Juan a long time ago.
Yeah,
He took me to one.
Night Wonder used to come through that joint. We had True School, and then Night Wonder had True School. It was like a fake little beef, like over the name and all that. You know, this is Night Wonder just produced the record with Jay-Z. It was around that time Night Wonder was on Jay-Z album. He used to come through in the Black Suburban. But around that time, the open mics ended. So it was like I had to go to Bar None, and then that ended. And then at the same time, I started promoting and being in the nightlife with Rob in the front of H2O. Rob used to be right there in front of H2O, you know what I'm saying? I'm promoting with Bob. I see her, Kenny Burns, Scoop Wale up at the same time.
But even Kenny Burns, we don't associate Kenny Burns with DC. He's like
Who's Who? What Kenny got me? This is the story. At the same time,
No, I'm just saying, when I say we, I'm talking about the general public might look at him as Atlanta.
oh no, they can't. He's too DC.
Okay.
So check it out. While I'm promoting at with Robin, which is Kenny Burns' sister, Wale with Kenny Burns. I'm working at the downtown locker room with Wale at the time. They doing that whole thing is happening right in front of my eye. I'm helping out, actually promoting. Because back in the day, there was no social media. There was no way you had to like really be out there to have a name. Two Faces Don, I know him since I was like 16. He used to come in with 2 fat pages, you know what I'm saying? So like, but to your point, it was the hustle. The artist can't just be an artist and accept and think somebody gonna come get him, come save him. So when Pure was ended, it was a couple of other open mics, but the promoter was like, you already promoted. And the club got bought out and changed the Pure Lounge. It was like, you already a promoter, so I'm gonna give you Monday nights. I'm like, you gonna give me Monday nights? I'm like, what? I'm like, 21. What you mean you gonna give me at night at the club? I'm out grinding 4 in the morning. We had
Who's your mentor at the time?
Tupac, D, Dominique, Moxie at that time. You know what I'm saying? They was mad power unit. They was running all the clubs. We had all the clubs on lock. So when you see that, the promoter of the promotional team had Fat Trail. That's how I met Fat Trail, who was in here today.
Okay.
So the dude gave me the club. It was before Debo. They was pushing Debo as a rapper. So my man Promo P, he was Tupac. He had him working. Yeah.
So I got a question.
Okay, let me say this too. I'm gonna be in audience.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to wrap now. I'm getting the time. Okay, I want to make sure we get some questions from the audience as well.
I'll say for my question.
Okay.
Mr. Carter, my question is kind of a statement is, I think what happened to the artists in the DMV area, and not to downplay on anybody, not to put anybody out there, I think a lot of it had to do with the violence and GoGo that was following GoGo, and they kind of tied it into the hip hop world. And if you went out and tried to get signed, or if you went out and tried to make a move, and the first thing you say, well, I'm from DC, everybody else would be like, oh, no, you know, they don't look at you as an artist. They look at you, oh, that's where GoGo at. And, you know, we all been there, and there was a lot of violence at the time. That's why a lot of places now that you can't play because of the violence that followed followed GoGo, I'm sorry. So they labeled that with the artists, the upcoming rap artists.
Until Wale came, like I was saying, till Wale came, not because you all,
Real quick, but a lot of people that made it in DC, they left. They rolled out. Think about it. They went to other cities.
like who?
A lot of people.
Like who?
I'm not picking on him, but he from DC.
DC.
No, they from DC in a different way though.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm glad you said that. Wait, I'm glad you said that because there is truth to that. What he's saying is because you know what I wanted to ask is, but Fat Trell, Wale, they all signed with Maybach Music, etc. So there's an element of hitching your wagon to things. You want to answer?
I just want to, as far as violence, I mean, violence has been in almost every city in America. And, it wasn't, DC was a murder capital for a time, but artists in other cities were able to succeed. So that shows you that it's not just violence. There's a lot of other factors that have impacted how hip hop in DC has evolved. And, it's intricately tied to GoGo and the history of GoGo in the city. And, it's still trying to get its bearing. DC is the biggest black city. If you can name any other city that is way down the list as far as successful rappers that have come out of here, it's been that way. And, it seemed like it's changing. I'm seeing some more, stuff now, but it took years and years and years and years for all these different forces that was at play to slowly rearrange or whatever and create a situation where, incredible hip hop music is being made out of DC and it's starting, has a chance to get heard.
Well, also, by the way, other cities have similar issues. New Orleans will probably say the same thing, like, No Limit had to leave, or Cash Money had to post up in Miami, etc.
Can I ask another hard
I got a good one
question?
for.
Can I ask a hard? I'm gonna ask this question to everybody. How many people like the fact that it's said that Wale is from DC? That's a real question. How many people in here actually like the fact that people say or that Wale is from here?
That's how we get on. Who cares?
That's a question. That is a question. That's not. I'm just asking a question. Okay, so I'm gonna ask one person. I'm gonna ask one question. Where is Wale actually from? Okay, so now let me ask the third and final question. What is the DMV? Okay, so that's your answer. That is your answer to this question. Why hasn't the DMV won in hip hop? We will never win in hip hop because we don't claim people that are winning in hip hop.